Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today I will be sharing some experience of applying formative assessment strategies and techniques in the lesson. By the end of the seminar, you will be able to analyze own teaching practice, get familiar with formative assessment strategies. So, first of all, what is formative assessment and why formative assessment? According to Black and William, formative assessment is an assessment which is carried out during the instructional process in the lesson. The prime aim of formative assessment is to provide information on students' learning and to track students' progress. It is highly important to remember that formative assessment should be embedded in the lesson. It should be aligned with lesson objectives. So, first of all, while designing a lesson, teachers need to first take into consideration lesson objectives and align these lesson objectives with formative assessment techniques and strategies. Going back to key features of formative assessment, it is important to highlight that formative assessment should be given in a timely manner. It is beneficial for students to instantly get information on their learning. Another important thing is how efficiently both teachers and students use formative assessment information. Also, formative assessment should involve success criteria. The involvement of success criteria help both teachers and students to decide whether they have achieved the lesson objectives. Students, parents may ask the question, how will I know whether I have achieved the lesson objectives? So, success criteria will contribute to this task. In order to efficiently apply formative assessment techniques, first we need to know how to develop formative assessment task. First, we need to analyze learning objective, create success criteria, and take into consideration Bloom's taxonomy. Next, we need to create the task in accordance with success criteria and further develop descriptors. There are a lot of types of formative assessment tasks. Now I am going to present some of them. First of all, they are tasks requiring open-ended answers. This may be essays, written papers of students where they speculate and express their ideas. Tasks where students are suggested to give short yes-no answers. Multiple choice tasks where students are required to choose one correct option. In the lesson, a variety of graphic organizers may be applied. For example, graphic organizer who, what, when may be applied to monitor how successfully students have understood the main idea of the text or of the video. Formative assessment in skillful hands will bring about students' success. Utilizing success criteria will develop students' understanding of learning outcomes. However, what makes success criteria efficient criteria? Efficient success criteria should be aligned with lesson objectives. It should be specific to the task. It should be comprehensible to students. It should be agreed and discussed with students, and also used as a basis for feedback and assessment. There are lots of types of formative assessment. For example, different types of graphic organizers, peer and self-assessment, exit cards, traffic lights, and etc. Self-assessment is one of the strategies of formative assessment. So why self-assessment? Self-assessment checks out the progress of own learning, gives opportunity for further learning. Self-assessment may motivate further learning. It encourages reflection on learning. Self-assessment can promote learner responsibility and independence. It also encourages students to take ownership of their learning and encourages a focus on the process of learning. There are a lot of benefits of applying peer assessment in class. First of all, they encourage collaborative learning. Students can help each other. Students, by commenting the work of others, can improve their own learning capacity. Students, by making comments on the work of others, can improve their learning capacity. It may also engage students in the learning process. This may entail an exposure to a wider range of ideas about their work. Today you will get familiar with some of them. Today in the lesson we are covering the topic of the world around us. The lesson objectives are as follows. Students are to identify the new vocabulary from the listening text, and also they are to use the verbs in present continuous appropriately. The students were suggested pictures and they are to answer the questions, what are they doing? You are going to do this task. On this here you will find some questions. You need to respond to these questions. You need to write the answer right below the question. So, for example, if the question is, what is she doing? You will need to answer the question and write it here. Okay? After you finish, you are going to swap your papers and draw smiley faces. You are going to draw this face if the answer is correct, if everything is perfect. If there are some mistakes, then you will draw this face. If the answer is incorrect, you will draw this very face. Okay? This is an individual task, and while students are working on it, I gather the information on students' learning by teacher observation. I just take the list of students and jot a few notes while the students are working. This enables me to gather a lot of information regarding the progress of students. Also, these valuable notes help me to conduct formative assessment and identify things students struggle with, or just make some important things which further I can reference to discuss in class. Teacher observation helps me to plan the next step, taking into consideration students' challenges and achievements. Swap. Yes, give it to your partner, give it to your classmate, and draw the face. Draw the smiley face. If the answer is correct, then you will draw this smile. If there are some mistakes, this smile. If the answer is incorrect, then the third smile. Where is your smile? So, what are they doing? The correct answer is she is cooking. She is cooking, he is jumping. Check your partners and draw a smiley face. This time, peer assessment was based on teacher benchmarks. I showed the correct answers to students, and the students compared their answers to the original ones. It is good sometimes to apply this type of assessment in order to improve student skills. Students better understand lesson material, as well as they may improve their metacognitive skills. The first, the second, or the third? I have the first, the third. This one, which one? Come and show. This one. The answer is correct. Yes, the answer is correct. Good, well done. Which smile do you have?
The answer is correct.
Well done, good job. Which smile do you have?
The answer is correct.
Is correct. Huh? And then what about you?
The answer is correct.
And
There are some
is
mistakes.
there are some mistakes. Yes? Was this task easy or difficult for you? Was it easy or difficult?
Easy.
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 Easy. Was it difficult for you?
Easy.
No? Okay. Now attention everyone. on every desk you will find this picture. You are going to work in groups. In groups you are to make up 4 sentences related to this picture. The bird is flying. Then you need to use what? Use verbs appropriately. Driving, playing, jumping, okay? And participation is important. Participation is important. Now attention. So these are your success criteria. Okay? So please start working in groups. Start working in groups and making up sentences. Discuss together, come closer and discuss.
Cow is swimming.
Each group has a card with such indicators as I need help, but I can keep working, I'm working fine. These cards also provide me with valuable information on how students are making progress, and they also serve as formative assessment strategy. You are going to assess your group work. Okay? So every group should have 4 sentences. They should use verbs appropriately, and everyone should participate. So each student should speak, okay, and present your sentences. So the first group, please welcome, come here. You are going to award these stickers to the group.
She is running. He is driving. He is playing.
So next group to present, group number 2. So welcome, please. Could you start?
She is good playing. He is good driving. She is good swimming. He is good walking. The man's driving car. The dara is flying. The fish is picking. The bob is playing sand.
Okay, thank you. Now everyone come to the board. Okay, so now these are your presentations. Check them, and if the answers are correct, give them stickers. Please, if there are some mistakes, make corrections. Do you think this group has some mistakes? Are there any mistakes? Or everything is correct? Mistakes or correct? Correct? She is good playing. Is it correct? Is it correct? No, she is playing. Yes. Now you are going to listen to a text. Each picture has its corresponding number. When you hear the name of this picture, you need to write down the number. Okay? So if I hear the name of this word, I will write here 5. Okay?
Playground.
To monitor students' listening comprehension skills, they are asked to give numbers matching to the pictures. So the learning objective is to recognize and identify some familiar sight words from the local environment. Students show their answers on paddles. It allows me to get a quick snapshot on students' learning, and students write their answers on a paddle, and the teacher can instantly see students' progress. Show me what you have. Everyone should show.
Circus, lake,
This is an evaluation tree. So we need to see where are you in relation to lesson objectives. Whether you can answer the question, what are they doing? Can you identify new vocabulary? And can you make up a sentence? You need to come up here and find your position here. Formative assessment activities and strategies help me to understand where my students are. So I can say he is there, she is there, and generally I can understand and make conclusion where my class is. Formative assessment may be applied while working in groups, pairs, as well as individually. For example, by giving 2 stars in the wish or just showing thumbs up and thumbs down. Utilizing different self-evaluation strategies give teachers a lot of information for further planning. For example, students may be suggested to decide where they are in relation to lesson objectives, where they have understood the topic by deciding what is their approximate percentage. Here, students may also indicate where their position in relation to lesson objectives, whether they are achieving lesson objectives for 100% or for 50% or 25%. Another possible suggestion may be the task 3, 2, 1. So, for example, students are asked to give 3 facts they remember, give 2 examples they remember, and ask 1 question. Another opportunity for both teachers and students to track their progress in achieving lesson objectives is suggesting the timeline. So students may indicate at the start of the lesson where they are in relation to lesson objectives. Later, by the end of the lesson, teacher may draw students' attention, go back to the lesson objectives, remind lesson objectives, and ask them to indicate on the same timeline again where they are in relation to lesson Undoubtedly, objectives. It is highly efficient to involve students in designing formative assessment strategies. For example, in designing rubrics, in self and peer assessment. However, taking into consideration primary school students' age peculiarities as well as their communicative skills, sometimes teachers need to provide support to students in designing criteria as well as in providing constructive feedback to their peers. Thank you for your attention. Happy teaching.